An auxiliary police officer Jiang Sizhe arrived at the security police station in Pinyin District, Zhejiang Province. He followed police officer Su Yunbo to handle one terrifying, bizarre, and suspenseful case after another. Preface. The beginning of the story. You are listening at novelfull.audio. At December 2000, noon on November 4, 2018, a young man walked into the safety police station in Pinyin District, Zhejiang Province. Hello, a formal auxiliary police officer stopped the young man who walked in. Are you the new auxiliary police officer? Yes, I am auxiliary police officer Jiang Sizhe who came to report today. Jiang Sizhe took out his auxiliary police certificate. Take him to Su's office, said the police officer in the reception hall and the auxiliary police officer beside him. Report, Su. Jiang Sizhe was led by the auxiliary police officer to the entrance of an office where 3 police officers were drinking tea. Hello, my new auxiliary police officer, number 114514, Jiang Sizhe said respectfully. My name is Jiang Sizhe, 23 years old. I have just retired from the armed police force and am a local in the safe zone. Are you Jiang Sizhe, the newcomer from the armed police? The police officer who was pouring tea and the other 2 waved to the auxiliary police officer who brought Jiang Sizhe to leave. Come in and sit down. Such a good young man, another police officer picked up a teacup. Su, let us handle the case with him. So you release Lao Lin, the other police officer said, he and I have been working together for almost 3 years. No, Xiaolin is a versatile person, said the police officer who had just asked Jiang Sizhe to investigate. Isn't it a waste of time with you, Su Yunbo? Zheng. How do you say that? The tea-pouring police officer put down the teapot and said, young police officers go to handle the case, and young auxiliary police officers go on patrol. Isn't that what we agreed on? Su. The police officer, known as Zheng, patted Su as he poured tea. Young people don't work with us, they have no future. Zheng. If you break the rules like this, our new police officers will come to patrol in the future. Su said with a smile on his face, Old Su, you can take the new auxiliary police officer out first to understand the situation. Su, I'm afraid he might be scared off by that road when he goes on patrol. Zheng looked at Su seriously. So I arranged for him to be his partner for Lao Su said as he picked up a teacup. Lao Su will take care of him, just like he takes care of Xiaolin. I hope so. Zheng watched as Su Yunbo and Jiang Sizhe slowly disappeared. I heard you also came out of the army, Su Yunbo looked at Jiang Sizhe. I came from the armed police in Hengyang, Hunan, Jiang Sizhe said awkwardly. After I was discharged from the military, my father introduced me to the District Public Security Bureau as an auxiliary police officer. Where does your house have a back door? Su Yunbo smiled and looked at Jiang Sizhe beside him. No, it's not. Jiang Sizhe awkwardly smiled, one of my former leaders transferred there. Oh. Su Yunbo also awkwardly smiled and led Jiang Sizhe to their office. He still takes good care of you. Yeah. 5 or 6 police officers were busy organizing materials when they arrived at the office. Yo. Old Su, is this the new auxiliary police officer? One of the old police officers watched as Su Yunbo walked in with Jiang Sizhe. Yes. The old police officer pulled Jiang Sizhe to his workstation. Please help me report the situation of the police incident just now. Jiang Sizhe followed the old police officer and typed everything into the computer. Old One, where is your partner auxiliary police? Su Yunbo asked Old One, the old police officer who asked Jiang Sizhe for help. He was dragged by the investigators to see someone off. Old police officer One awkwardly said. Where are the auxiliary police officers handling the case? Su Yunbo hurriedly asked the old police officer, Lao One. Where is Xiaolin? All 4 police officers handling the case have 6 auxiliary police officers, isn't that enough? They said it's a day off. Old police officer 1 smiled and said, anyway, they dare not call your auxiliary police because they are still afraid that no one will help you with those things. What are those things you're talking about? Jiang Sizhe looked at Su Yunbo and the old police officer after finishing the police report of Old One. Are you a local? Old police officer 1 patted the table and said. Yes, what's wrong? Jiang Sizhe looked at the other police officers in question, and they gasped for breath as they saw Su Yunbo leave the office. The police officer who brought you in is called Su Yunbo. You should know about the case 4 years ago, which was called an extremely strange case. What you're talking about is the case where 3 coffins were dug out from underground on Yinyang Road, and those who had seen those 3 coffins all died. Then a police officer burned all 3 coffins before building Yinyang Road. Jiang Sizhe recalled the case that occurred in the safe zone 4 years ago before he became a police officer in Hengyang. Isn't he an old police officer? He's an old police officer, but he didn't say he's old, the old police officer said with a smile, and his partner is very impressive. Is Officer Su the ghost catcher? Jiang Sizhe thought for a moment, or is his partner? None of them. Old police officer 1 picked up a water glass and pretended, after all, we are police officers who believe in science. Isn't it? Jiang Sizhe thought for a moment, a police officer who believes in science. We used scientific methods to solve it. Other police officers who had already solved the problem slowly walked up to Jiang Sizhe's side. What scientific method? Jiang Sizhe awkwardly rubbed his head. Don't guess. An auxiliary police officer walked to the office door. Come back. Old police officer Lao Wen watched as the auxiliary police officer slowly walked in at the door. Yeah. I took him to the detention center and found out he didn't bring the medical examination. The auxiliary police officer found a seat and sat down. The investigators always leave things behind. Old police officer 1 patted the auxiliary police officer. Actually, the auxiliary police officer said hesitantly, I forgot to bring it. What? Old police officer Lao Wen looked at the auxiliary police officer. Xiao Du, it was you who forgot to bring a medical examination. When they went out and asked me to bring the prisoner's medical examination, it was me and Lu watching the prisoner. He was a rapist, said auxiliary police officer Xiao Du awkwardly. Firstly, that person is a suspect, and he is still suspected of rape. Don't make a final decision, one of the police officers present pointed to auxiliary police officer Xiao Du's speech error. Secondly, you can notify people outside to assist you in obtaining a medical examination report before leaving the interrogation room. Boss Du, after work, why are you still staying here? A few auxiliary police officers quickly walked in. By the way, you're the new auxiliary police officer, right? Auxiliary police officer Xiao Du patted Jiang Sizhe. Yes. What's wrong? Jiang Sizhe stared blankly at the others walking out of the office one after another. You are with our team now, both on and off duty. Auxiliary police officer Xiao Du took Jiang Sizhe to the auxiliary police changing room. This is where our auxiliary police change clothes. You should know the working hours now. The morning shift is from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m., the middle shift is from 3 p.m. to 10 p.m., and the evening shift is from 10 p.m. to 7 a.m. the next day. Auxiliary police officer Xiao Du said to Jiang Sizhe while changing clothes, my name is Du Jiangwo, and now our class monitor. Chapter 1. Unclear cases on the 4th floor. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. The next afternoon at 3 o'clock, at a hotel on Yinyang Road within the jurisdiction of the security police station. Hello, do you have a room? A middle-aged man walked into the hotel, dragging a suitcase. Yes, but you have to follow our rules. Don't open the bathroom door after nightfall. Even if you go into the bathroom, don't look in the mirror. The front desk spoke in a very eerie voice. Okay. After the middle-aged man agreed, the front desk walked out with a room card and led him into the elevator. Then, they went to room 403, remember our rules, the front desk said coldly. Okay. The tired middle-aged man walked into the room and immediately lay down to sleep. On the first day of work at the security police station, Jiang Sizhe sat in the backup room playing with his phone. How come nothing happened? Jiang Sizhe, who was playing with his phone, looked out the window. I really want to go with them to handle cases. Don't speak recklessly. Another auxiliary police officer in the standby room glared at Jiang Sizhe. Reserve room, please answer. The walkie-talkie in the reserve room made a sound. Get ready. The auxiliary police officer who glared at Jiang Sizhe immediately picked up the walkie-talkie. You guys go to the police. Jiang Sizhe could jump up from his chair when he heard the intercom say these words. Is it Su Sir who called the police? The person holding the walkie-talkie asked the person on the other end of the walkie-talkie. No. Upon hearing the other end of the walkie-talkie speak, another auxiliary police officer in the standby room immediately picked up his equipment and walked out of the room. Liu Hui has passed. The auxiliary police officer holding the walkie-talkie pressed Jiang Sizhe onto the stool. Do go, why don't you let me go? Jiang Sizhe pushed his hand aside. You are currently with Su Sir, and only in special circumstances will you be sent out, Du Jiangwo sat on the side and said. What special circumstances? Jiang Sizhe, who heard this, put away his phone. At 8:42 p.m., in the room where the middle-aged man was sleeping at the Yinyang Road Hotel. Dida, dida, dida. The terrifying dripping sound woke up the sleeping middle-aged man. Why is it so noisy? The confused middle-aged man got up and walked towards the bathroom. Who didn't turn off the water? The middle-aged man opened the door to the bathroom. Dida, dida. The noisy dripping sound made the middle-aged man search everywhere for the place where the water was dripping. Isn't it here? The middle-aged man looked up and saw a mirror with blood palm prints all over it. In the middle of the mirror, there were two big words, pay for your life. The middle-aged man who saw the blood palm prints ran out of the bathroom in panic. Ah! Everything in front of the middle-aged man had blood palm prints, and the middle-aged man ran out of the room regardless of everything. The passage and walls in front of him turned into red pus and liquid. Blood, everywhere is blood. The panicked middle-aged man hurriedly ran down the emergency escape route. Hello. The front desk looked bewildered as the middle-aged man ran out of the escape channel. What did you do? The middle-aged man angrily ran to the front desk. How could you give guests a haunted room? What are you talking about? The front desk looked at the middle-aged man in confusion. I need to borrow a phone to report to the police. The middle-aged man went to the front desk, picked up the phone, and dialed 110. Hello, this is the Zhejiang Public Security Bureau. May I ask if there is anything I can help you with? The middle-aged man felt a sense of peace when he heard the person on the other end of the phone speaking. Is it 110? But hearing the middle-aged man's hurried voice made the person on the other end of the phone feel uneasy. I'm at the Mountain Inn on Yinyang Road. Did something happen? The person on the other end of the phone heard the middle-aged man say the address and then heard the electric sound of do. After a while, it was in the lobby of the security police station. You have new police reports, please pay attention to receiving them. An electronic voice spread throughout the lobby. Lao Li, it's a case on Yinyang Road. The panicked auxiliary police officer saw the police situation on the computer. Go inform Lao Su. The police officer in the lobby asked the auxiliary police to go find Su Yunbo. Jiang Sizhe, who was in the auxiliary police standby room, watched his colleagues coming and going. Duty room, please answer if received. The intercom in the duty room rang again. Suzhou called the police and called the newcomer over. The voice coming from the walkie-talkie immediately made Jiang Sizhe put away his phone and run to the lobby. Go to the surveillance area to get the law enforcement recorder. If you see an auxiliary police officer in the case area, call him up. Su Yunbo asked Jiang Sizhe to go and get the law enforcement recorder. Brother Su, let's just keep it the same. The auxiliary police in the lobby handed Su Yunbo a walkie-talkie with a police number similar to Su Yunbo's and the key to the 0723 police car. The caller is at the Russian hotel on Yinyang Road. Knock, knock, knock. Jiang Sizhe walked into the investigation area, and a nearly 30-year-old plainclothes man sat by the window with a book in his hand. Hello, Officer Su asked me to come here and ask for help. Okay. After packing up the plain clothes, Jiang Sizhe followed him to the car. Later, Jiang Sizhe learned from Su Yunbo that the plain clothes were named Lin Yi, who was Su Yunbo's former partner. It's you, Xiaolin. Su Yunbo saw the two people getting into the car. Command Center, this is Security C03, Police number 04215. We have arrived at the location mentioned by the reporter, Su Yunbo said, holding the walkie-talkie. Received from the command center. A crisp voice came from the other side of the walkie-talkie. D. After a loud noise, Su Yunbo opened the law enforcement recorder on his shoulder. Hello, when I saw Jiang Sizhe at the Russian hotel, I suddenly remembered that the fourth-floor guest rooms had been burned down before he enlisted. Who called the police? Jiang Sizhe followed Su Yunbo and Lin Yi into the Russian hotel. It's me, the middle-aged man said to the police officer who came in. What exactly happened? Su Yunbo walked up to the middle-aged man, but Lin Yi pulled Jiang Sizhe to the front desk to inquire about the situation. It's like this, I checked in here this afternoon, and then they arranged a room for me. I followed their staff to room 403, and I fell asleep. But I was awakened by the sound of dripping water, and then I saw blood everywhere. Then we immediately fled there and called the police here. The middle-aged man said in fear. But what the front desk said was different from what Jiang Sizhe and Lin Yi said. I've been working here since the afternoon, but I haven't seen him register here before, and the room he mentioned is 403. The front desk asked Jiang Sizhe to check the information registered on the computer, but there was no middle-aged man registered. Later that night, when he ran down from above, he scared me when he ran out of the escape channel. It's like this, thank you. Lin Yi immediately put a copper coin in front of him, and there were 3 flames on the shoulder of the middle-aged man in front of Lin Yi. What's wrong? Jiang Sizhe looked at Lin Yi in confusion and said, Senior. It's nothing. Lin Yi and Jiang Sizhe walked up to Su Yunbo. You watch them here, let's go up and see the situation. Su Yunbo handed over the law enforcement recorder to Jiang Sizhe. Okay. Jiang Sizhe, who took over the law enforcement recorder, stared at the front desk of Russian hotel and the middle-aged man. Pop, pop, pop. Lin Yi and Su Yunbo walked into the safe passage. He should have been brought up by the front desk that was burned to death before. Lin Yi took out a police baton wrapped in talismans as he spoke. Let's go up and take a look first. Su Yunbo and Lin Yi slowly walked towards the 4th floor. Dida, Dida. Su Yunbo and Lin Yi, who were approaching the 4th floor, smelled a bloody smell. 2 police officers, stop moving forward. A gloomy voice came from the minds of Su Yunbo and Lin Yi. You brought that living person here, right? Su Yunbo and Lin Yi stopped in front of the 4th floor. He said he wanted to find a place to live. I saw that the front desk had taken someone to the room, so I helped him open a room on the 4th floor and told him the rules, but he didn't comply. The gloomy voice accused the middle-aged man. I know he didn't follow the rules, so what are you going to do? Su Yunbo looked at the blood slowly flowing down from the 4th floor. We want him to join us, a terrifying voice enveloped Su Yunbo and Lin Yi. If we can't reach an agreement, what should we do? Lin Yi took out 3 copper coins from his pocket. Bring him up to us. One terrifying voice after another came from the 4th floor. Don't do this. Su Yunbo took out a few talismans from the single police equipment and pasted them on the stairs. We don't want you to disappear here from now on. Don't scare people. A blue-faced and Fong monster attacked Su Yunbo. You don't have this ability at all. Why don't you give it a try? Lin Yi threw 3 copper coins to block the rushing monsters. Bang! The moment the blue-faced and fanged ghost touched the copper coin, it was burned by the coin. Ah, ah! The ghost hugged its head and fled back to where he appeared. Who the hell are you? A voice reached Lin Yi and Su Yunbo's ears from the depths of the 4th floor. We are police. Su Yunbo and Lin Yi walked up the 4th floor. Police. A pair of hands covered in pus extended from the wall on the 4th floor. Don't joke. The floor on the 4th floor was covered in blood and water. The last time we're together. Lin Yi threw a talisman from his sleeve into mid-air. Boom. The talisman quickly ignited flames, causing the hands around Lin Yi and Su Yunbo to retract. Yeah. Do you don't want to face this ghost anymore, or are there too many things opened up for you in the case handling department? Su Yunbo took out a pair of gloves from his single police equipment and put them on. Or is it that my science of exorcism scared everyone in your sect? After putting on the gloves, Su Yunbo punched the wall, and the red blood immediately receded from the smashed wall. No, it's impossible. Several tentacles from deep on the 4th floor quickly attacked Su Yunbo and Lin Yi. Are you? Pa. The incoming tentacles were blocked by Su Yunbo. How many people do you really want to control? Lin Yi dropped multiple copper coins, which quickly searched for the aura of the 4th floor. The blood on the 4th floor quickly receded. How many people have you killed here? Do you want to harm another one? I've already killed so many people, can't I kill one more? Tentacles extending from the wall one after another, he broke the rules. 4 years ago, you seduced a drug dealer who lived here and burned the entire 4th floor. Su Yunbo immediately ran towards the 4th floor and extended his hand. Chapter 2. The Truth 4 Years Ago. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Can you really accept me? The eerie voice came from the minds of Su Yunbo and Lin Yi. Pu Tong. Su Yunbo and Lin Yi suddenly smelled a foul odor, and the floor under their feet turned into a reddish liquid, causing them to immediately fall into it. Look, this is its territory. Su Yunbo and Lin Yi found that they could breathe normally here, so they leaned against their backs and were alert to the enemy in the dark. Whoosh! A fish-like creature quickly swam past Su Yunbo and Lin Yi. Quantum resonance in the plasma field brought us here, Su Yunbo said, grabbing a sudden attacking tentacle with his ice-sick hand. The so-called field is only the space generated by the ionizing radiation generated by the plasma. Let's find a way to get out of here first. Lin Yi helped Su Yunbo pull his tentacles hard. Whoosh! A monster with red eyes slowly approached Su Yunbo and the others. Is this the monster they summoned 4 years ago? Lin Yi noticed the glowing red monster quickly shooting towards Su Yunbo's tentacles, and quickly pushed him away. It looks very hungry. Su Yunbo took out a bottle of blue-green liquid from his single police equipment. Let it look good this time. Su Yunbo poured out the blue-green liquid and applied it to the tentacles he grabbed. Then Su Yunbo released the tentacles, and the tentacles began to become transparent, and those liquids quickly eroded towards the source of the tentacles. A crisp sound came from the source of the tentacles. Great, you guys are really amazing. A voice echoed through Su Yunbo's and Lin Yi's minds. But this power alone cannot stop me. As Su Yunbo and Lin Yi analyzed their thoughts, many fish shot at them like arrows. Whoosh, whoosh. Su Yunbo and Lin Yi quickly dodged the recent attacks from the fish. Pushi. A fish deeply penetrated Lin Yi's body. Is it okay? Su Yunbo quickly dripped the blue-green liquid in his hand onto the fish. The blue-green liquid quickly made the fish transparent, and there was a hole with a radius of 1.5 centimeters on Lin Yi's body. This is its world, and we were hurt here. In reality, we were not injured, so I'm fine. Lin Yi calmly threw out a copper coin and stopped a few fish. It's okay, it's not because there's copper ion solution that I don't know how to solve this monster. Su Yunbo punched the direction of the tentacle source, and an elephant head with sharp horns on its head appeared in front of them without an elephant's nose face. Wow! A big hand knocked Su Yunbo and Lin Yi back onto the wall on the 4th floor, where there were still traces of flames burning. We're back. Su Yunbo, who felt like he had survived, looked at the door of room 403 in front of him. Mr. Su, what exactly happened 4 years ago? Why was there that terrifying monster? Lin Yi trembled and said these words. We asked the guests to retrieve their belongings, and then I slowly explained to you in the police car what exactly happened to this mountain-like hotel. Su Yunbo opened the door to room 403, which was littered with clothes and daily necessities. I'll go down and call someone up now. Lin Yi started running down. What's wrong? Jiang Sizhe watched as Lin Yi hurriedly ran downstairs. We took the front desk and the customer up to confirm things. Lin Yi led the front desk and Jiang Sizhe and others up to the 4th floor. Su Yunbo is waiting for everyone at the staircase on the 4th floor. This is room 403. Can you see if everything is here? Su Yunbo opened the door of room 403 and said to the police. Thank you, Comrade Police. The guest hurriedly ran into room 403 to tidy up. Alright, bring us your ID card to register and we need to keep a record of the case. Su Yunbo said to the guest as a reddish liquid emerged from the bathroom. Didn't you just escape? Why did you come back? Do you think your life is long? A terrifying voice kept murmuring in the person's mind. Gotta. 44 figures, wrapped in blood-red liquid all over their bodies, slowly walked out from places that Su Yunbo and others couldn't see. They slowly walked towards Su Yunbo and the others. Is this a prank? The front desk was the first to notice these figures and immediately shouted, People play it. Don't be joking. These are the ones sacrificed at that time, right? Lin Yi looked at the sudden appearance and cautiously took out some copper coins, saying. Xiao Jiang, please help the caller register their identity information. Su Yunbo closed the door. My name is Zhou Fanghai, from Luoshan, and my ID card number is 327131983020807X. Guests Zhou Fanghai and Jiang Sizhe looked at Jiang Sizhe after reporting their names and ID card numbers. Mr. Su, everything is normal, Jiang Sizhe said to Su Yunbo after verifying his identity information. Okay. Su Yunbo turned off the law enforcement recorder. You pack your things first, and we'll take you down later. If you don't trust staying here, you can stay with us at the police station tonight. But you can't talk to anyone about anything you see later. After Su Yunbo finished speaking, he pulled Lin Yi to block the door of room 403. Okay. Zhou Fanghai, who was afraid, hurriedly packed his things. Pada. A huge tentacle appeared from the bathroom and patted the door. Wait, there's something in the bathroom. It seems like something needs to come out. Zhou Fanghai, who had packed up, walked to the bathroom door in fear. Don't go. Su Yunbo shouted to Zhou Fanghai. Creak. The bathroom door quickly opened, and a huge tentacle quickly wrapped around Zhou Fanghai. Then, the tentacle quickly dragged Zhou Fanghai into the bathroom and closed the door. Pa, pa. The sound of the door in room 403 began to disappear after Zhou Fanghai was dragged into the bathroom. How could that be? Su Yunbo went to open the bathroom door, only to find that there were only empty toilets and mirrors inside. The person who violated the regulations has been taken away by me, you can leave now. These words appeared in everyone's minds. Officer, why are we here? The front desk looked at the police officer in front of them. It's okay. Su Yunbo watched as Lin Yi opened the door. Officer Su, Jiang Sizhe asked Su Yunbo, is there anyone dead here? Lin Yi looked at Jiang Sizhe in surprise and then pulled Su Yunbo aside. You didn't give him a bronze object. I gave him a copper coin, but I don't know if he has it with him. Clack. Su Yunbo lit a cigarette and started smoking. Lin Yi saw the police report on his police phone, suspecting that a thief was secretly living here on the 4th floor. Give me the walkie-talkie. Su Yunbo took the walkie-talkie from Jiang Sizhe. Command Center, this is Safety C03. The issue with Russian Hotel has been resolved. I will report the details in detail on the police situation. Received at the Command Center. After the other end of the walkie-talkie answered, Su Yunbo returned to the police car with Jiang Sizhe and Lin Yi. Tell me, what exactly happened at Russian Hotel 4 years ago? Lin Yi sat in the back of the police car and asked Su Yunbo, who was driving. It seems that 4 years ago, a travel agency brought over 40 people to stay at the Russian hotel, and they had to ask for a room on the 4th floor. Although there were only a dozen or so rooms on the 4th floor, they squeezed in and stayed there. Later, they found out that some cult members of the travel agency had lit the curtains of the room, causing the fire to spread and burn the entire 4th floor. Su Yunbo said that Lin Yi looked at him with incredible eyes at the time. It's impossible. Even if the curtains are lit and the flames spread, it's impossible to completely burn the entire 4th floor. Lin Yi refuted Su Yunbo's statement, I think those things should have blinded the truth. Did you notice something was wrong? Even if the fire hit an electronic device and caused the circuit to catch fire, it wouldn't have been possible to burn it so clean, and even human bones hadn't been found. Su Yunbo patted the steering wheel and said, what terrifying thing did those cult elements attract and eat everyone? What are you talking about? Jiang Sizhe, who was using his police phone to call the police, listened to the two of them talking, but felt frightened. It's nothing, just listen to the story. Su Yunbo started the police car. Ah! Jiang Sizhe hugged his head and shouted loudly. The memories of being on the 4th floor began to flood into his mind, causing immense pain in his head. Drink some water. Su Yunbo handed his kettle to Jiang Sizhe. Okay. Jiang Sizhe took the water and drank it. Is it better? Lin Yi in the back seat patted Jiang Sizhe's back. Cough, cough, cough. Jiang Sizhe kept coughing, and then remembered Zhou Fanghai, who had mysteriously disappeared on the 4th floor. Just now on the 4th floor, did someone disappear? Mr. Su, didn't you explain those things to him? Lin Yi watched as Su Yunbo parked the car to the side. All life in this world is a product of electron entanglement. When life dies, a part of the ionizing body will escape from the human body, and the ones we just saw are the illusion world caused by quantum entanglement produced by a powerful ionizing body. The person living on the 4th floor has completely disappeared from this world. Do you have a way to save him? Jiang Sizhe's pupils dilated as he looked at Su Yunbo driving. That's right. 4 years ago, a group of cultists from a mountain inn used evil methods to offer sacrifices to 40.5 people, including themselves, summoning that thing and setting rules to access it. Su Yunbo drove the car back to the safety police station. Don't think too much, take a good rest. If there's anything we can do, we'll help solve it. Lin Yi patted Jiang Sizhe's shoulder and comforted him. And now that you're Su's partner, remember to bring some bronze objects with you, otherwise how will you die? I don't even know. It's not so exaggerated, is it? Jiang Sizhe widened his eyes in fear and looked at Lin Yi. Believe me anyway, remember to bring it with you. Lin Yi finished speaking and walked into the police station. Chapter 3. Demons in the Water. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. Inside the security police station, Jiang Sizhe returned to the auxiliary police standby room and walked in under the gaze of others. How did you make your first call to the police? How did you feel? Du Jiangwo and other auxiliary police officers in the backup room looked at Jiang Sizhe. What can we do? Isn't it normal to call the police? Jiang Sizhe pushed the other people aside. You haven't called the police before. Everyone takes turns taking a break, and we have to help the lobby in the latter half of the night, said Du Jiangwo and other auxiliary police officers. Afterwards, until 5:20 in the morning, Jiang Sizhe heard it in the lobby. Command Center, this is the Pinyin District Water Police. We have found a body in the waters under the jurisdiction of the security police station. Please send someone to confirm personnel at the Lingfeng Ferry. The voice came from the walkie-talkie. Received from the command center. A deep male voice came from the walkie-talkie. Bell, bell, bell. The phone in the lobby rang rapidly. Hello, this is the security police station. May I help you? Jiang Sizhe answered the phone. Safety, this is the command center. The water police just reported that a corpse has been found in the waters of your jurisdiction. Please send someone over to confirm. A deep voice came from the other end of the phone. Got it. Jiang Sizhe hung up the phone and immediately told the police in the lobby about the command center's request to call the police. Then you go call Su Yunbo. The police officer in the lobby went to the front of the scheduling table, and Su Yunbo was the first one. Jiang Sir, I am Su Sir's partner. If he goes to the police, I will also follow him. That Jiang Sir, who is in his 40s, has a short stature, is long and fat, looks like a marmot, and has been smoothed out by life. Then you can call Du Jiangwo over and ask him to look at the lobby for you. Mr. Zhang took out his phone and dialed Su Yunbo's phone number. Hello, Yunbo. Brother Zhang, what's up? Su Yunbo on the other end of the phone woke up from sleep. There is something arranged at the command center that requires you to take the auxiliary police to confirm. Mr. Zhang awkwardly said, you are the first standby. Okay, I'll be there soon. Su Yunbo hung up the phone and immediately got dressed, picked up his equipment, and walked towards the lobby of the police station. Zhang Sir. What's going on? Drowsy-eyed Du Jiangwo walked into the lobby. There's no need to go to the police. Drowsy-eyed Du Jiangwo watched as Su Yunbo slowly walked down and immediately closed his mouth. What is the police situation? Su Yunbo walked into the lobby. The command center requires us to go to the waters of the jurisdiction and find the body, and we need to confirm it, said Jiang Sizhe and Su Yunbo, who were equipped. As usual, Su Yunbo patted Mr. Zhang's shoulder and said, where are the patrolling people? Can't they go? I guess I found a place to sleep, and my phone and walkie-talkie have been turned off quietly. Mr. Zhang smiled and looked at Su Yunbo, I can only trouble you. Okay. Su Yunbo watched as Jiang Sizhe hurriedly brought out the law enforcement recorder from the investigation area. This newcomer is still like this. Young people, you need to take more care of yourself. Mr. Zhang watched as the two of them brought their equipment and walked towards the parking spot of the police car. Mr. Su, Jiang Sizhe hesitated as he sat in the car and asked Su Yunbo, I want to ask where you learned about those monsters. Is it possible for me to see my deceased loved ones just by seeing those monsters? I don't know, because those things have already absorbed too many ions, they can already affect reality, said Su Yunbo, who started the police car. But as long as you care, they will conjure up those illusions to confuse you. I don't want to see those fake things. Jiang Sizhe began to nervously say, I just want to see that I have. As Jiang Sizhe spoke, the police car had already arrived near the Lingfeng ferry. So don't pay too much attention to them. Su Yunbo opened the door and got off the police car. Command, it's safe C01 here, we've reached the Lingfeng ferry. Su Yunbo said, holding the walkie-talkie. Received from the command center. When the walkie-talkie replied to Su Yunbo and Jiang Sizhe, they had already met with the water police. You guys come pull. The water police looked at Su Yunbo and Jiang Sizhe walking slowly. There were 2 police officers, one fat and one thin, and 2 older auxiliary police officers waiting for them at the Lingfeng ferry. Where is the body? Can we take a look? Su Yunbo and Jiang Sizhe were taken to the front of the body. This body was discovered by the sand pump crew working in the middle of the night, said the auxiliary police officer of the Marine Police, pinching his nose and looking at the body. This person is not. Jiang Sizhe recognized the body at first sight. The body was Zhou Fanghai, who had disappeared on the 4th floor before, and he had nothing on him. Maggots crawled out of him. When he saw these maggots, Jiang Sizhe immediately felt nauseous and ran to the side to vomit. Do you know this person? A water police officer at the scene asked Su Yunbo. I don't know, Su Yunbo comforted Jiang Sizhe. Have you contacted a forensic doctor? The forensic doctor said it will take another 2 hours to arrive, said one of the auxiliary police officers at the scene to Su Yunbo. So have you notified the criminal investigation and the members of the spirit group? Su Yunbo patted Jiang Sizhe's back and said. What? I knew by notifying the criminal investigation, but why did I need to notify the group of people from the spirit group? Are you not afraid of those things? Su Yunbo looked at the body of Zhou Fanghai. Have you confirmed your identity information? We have confirmed his identity with a police phone, one of the police officers told Su Yunbo. Are we waiting for the criminal investigation team from the sub-bureau or are we leaving it for you? I know you want to find a place to rest, but we're not sure if the person who killed this person is nearby. Su Yunbo handed out a cigarette. Let's wait for the criminal investigation and forensic doctor to come over. Aren't you? The older auxiliary police officer among the 2 auxiliary police officers said to Su Yunbo, aren't you the sole removal police officer? Yes, I am, embarrassed Su Yunbo said. Ka. The body of the maggot-infested Zhou Fanghai slowly got up and walked towards the several police officers at the scene. Quickly escape into the water, otherwise he will infect you. The person at the scene suddenly had this idea in their mind. Don't get into the water. Su Yunbo looked at the maggots on Zhou Fanghai's body, which had turned into one fly after another. It's tempting you. Impossible. That's my own idea. The chubby police officer at the scene ignored Su Yunbo's obstruction and immediately jumped into the water. However, a black tentacle in the water immediately pulled him into the bottom. Gulu. Bubbles began to emerge one after another on the water. Su Yunbo, can you save people? The skinny police officer in the water police pulled Su Yunbo, hurry up and save old Chow. I don't know what's in the water, I can't make a hasty decision now. Su Yunbo was wary of Zhou Fanghai's body and the flies that ran out of it. Escape. The 2 old auxiliary police officers had this idea in their minds, and immediately ran frantically towards the outside of Lingfeng ferry. Don't. Jiang Sizhe didn't stop the 2 old auxiliary police officers. As soon as the old auxiliary police officers ran out of the ferry, they immediately ran out from behind Zhou Fanghai's body. Those flies immediately penetrated into the bodies of the old auxiliary police officers when they didn't pay attention. Pop. The 2 old auxiliary police officers began to twist their bodies crazily and walked towards Su Yunbo and the others. What should I do? Another police officer panicked and grabbed Su Yunbo's clothes. I'm still young, I don't want to die. The frightened police officer tightly grabbed Su Yunbo's duty uniform. Do you want to save others? A special voice echoed in Jiang Sizhe's mind. If you want to save others, come listen to me. As my substitute. Don't believe it. Su Yunbo immediately kicked back the body of Zhou Fanghai as he walked. It just wants a way to intervene in our world. It's like they can only communicate and control things that are electronically controlled in our minds. It said it needed a substitute. Jiang Sizhe took out his baton and looked vigilantly at the two old auxiliary police officers who had become strange. Agent. It doesn't explain the situation, we will be consumed here by him because this world is just their toy. Su Yunbo looked at the slowly walking body of Zhou Fanghai. For them, we are just NPCs and controllable characters in the game. Promise it, won't you? The police officer who caught Su Yunbo's clothes looked at Zhou Fanghai's body as he walked towards him. Then we won't die. Maybe he only allowed the chosen agent to survive. Su Yunbo looked at the body of Zhou Fanghai, who had already stopped, and the two old auxiliary police officers. I need you as my representative, and I will give you strength and fame, as long as you trust me unconditionally when I need it. The voice in Jiang Sizhe's mind rang out again. He has once again bewitched me. Jiang Sizhe and Su Yunbo said. First, what is its purpose? And what does it need you to do? Otherwise, you won't be his agent. Su Yunbo took out a bottle of blue-green liquid from the single police officer's equipment. I'm talking to him now, why are you asking this and that, said Zhou Fanghai's corpse. Don't think you are a high-latitude creature, we are afraid of you. I know you ignore the laws of space and time. You can appear in front of me at any time and place, but directly intervene in our world. You can only communicate with us through possession or territory. And you cannot directly kill us living beings in this dimension. Su Yunbo said as he poured the blue-green liquid in his hand onto Zhou Fanghai's body. Ah! At the moment of being splashed, Zhou Fanghai's body immediately collapsed on the ground. Don't think that high-latitude creatures like you can do whatever they want in our world. After Su Yunbo finished splashing the liquid, a thin layer of mist began to appear on the water surface in front of them. You are not an agent, so you don't have to get involved in our transaction. A shark head with half-crocodile feet appeared in the mist in front of Su Yunbo and the others. Chapter 4. Agent. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Can you explain why you have to act as a substitute? Su Yunbo held a baton and faced a half-human, half-shark monster crawling out of the mist. You know, our high-dimensional lifetimes cannot completely appear in this world, so we can only use proxy travelers to complete some things for us. The half-shark monster stopped there and answered Su Yunbo's question. You are not the first batch of proxy travelers, those proxy travelers are called gods. What do you mean? What does it mean that we are not the first batch of agents? Su Yunbo shouted loudly, not understanding. Did you ask the agents to modify something before? Even if we let you know, what can we do? The half-shark monster laughed and said, you can't have any influence on us at all. This world is already our playground, and we are called gods or legendary beings by you. Then you underestimate us. Su Yunbo took out a copper coin from the single police officer's equipment. It seems that the previous agents left a way to deal with us. The half-shark monster began to grow bigger. You didn't realize why other planets in this universe don't have highly intelligent life like you. Because they are all failed experiments. We used to use dinosaurs as agents, but those idiots couldn't cooperate with us. We had to exterminate them. Yo, yo, yo. A tall, tattered, crazy, and beautiful woman walked in from the ferry crossing. Finn, you haven't found a substitute yet. How dare you appear here? Why do you need to help these ordinary people? As a proxy practitioner, the monster called Finn said to the woman. I'm also an ordinary person, and I didn't die in the last game. Do you think I'm at a loss? The woman looked at Su Yunbo. Can you give me a cigarette? You are just a proxy traveler, you can't compare to me. That monster called the Fin, go to hell. Countless crocodile feet on the piranhas crawled out of the river. Don't you think my power cannot be compared to yours? Fin. The woman stomped her feet fiercely, and a cold wind blew out from her feet, blowing those strange fish back into the river. It's you. Fin said fiercely, Owl, shouldn't it have quit the game? Its proxy should have died. I only know those few people underground, and no one cares whether we, the other travelers, are alive or dead. The woman raised her hand and blew the Fin back into the river. Snoring, snoring. The chubby police officer in the river climbed onto the shore. Cough, cough, yes, which bastard kicked me into the water? The chubby police officer looked at the two auxiliary police officers standing beside Zhou Fenghai's body, dumbfounded. Goodbye this afternoon. The woman instantly turned into a wisp of smoke and disappeared in front of Su Yunbo and the others. The detectives are here. Another water officer looked towards the ferry. Unconsciously, it's already dawn, it's unbelievable. The chubby police officer who climbed up from the river cursed. Leave this to the Criminal Investigation Brigade, let's go back and rest. Su Yunbo patted Jiang Sizhe's shoulder and said. Are you leaving like this? The chubby police officer looked at Su Yunbo and the others who got in the car. They haven't figured out how I fell into the water yet. Didn't you just say you were going for an autopsy, wearing gloves, and then losing your balance and falling directly into the water? The two auxiliary police officers of the marine officer smiled and looked at the chubby marine officer. Why are you laughing? Don't want to leave work. The chubby police officer said fiercely, just leave this to the Criminal Investigation Department. Returning to the police car, Jiang Sizhe looked at Su Yunbo puzzled. Do you want to ask why you don't accept the power of that monster? Su Yunbo placed his hands on the steering wheel. That's because we don't even know what that monster, including the woman, is trying to do. We don't even know their purpose. If he gives you power and what he needs is your soul forever driven by him, then you are no longer you. Isn't it so scary? Jiang Sizhe listened to Su Yunbo's words. Take a good rest after work, and then I'll call you out for dinner around 5 or 6 in the evening. We should analyze their purpose now. Su Yunbo started the police car. After arriving at the security police station, the lobby police officer who handed over the shift looked at Su Yunbo as he returned. Old Su, why did you come back from the police so early? Old Tang, stop joking. Su Yunbo returned the police car key and walkie-talkie to the lobby police officer. Didn't you check the police situation? After work. Du Jiangwo patted Jiang Sizhe's shoulder. The successor has arrived. After Jiang Sizhe returned home, there were some food and a piece of paper on the table at home. Sizhe, remember to have lunch and don't damage your stomach. It's just a big fuss. Jiang Sizhe crumpled the paper into a ball and threw it into the trash can. I've grown up so much and still think about me all day. Jiang Sizhe picked up the dishes and slowly ate the food left on the table. At 5:20 p.m., Jiang Sizhe, who was sleeping, was awakened by the ringing of his phone. Hello. Jiang Sizhe, who was dozing off, answered the phone. Get up and eat. Su Yunbo's voice came from the other end of the phone. Won't people sleep anymore? Jiang Sizhe shouted at his phone. Xiao Jiang. Su Yunbo's voice sounded like an invisible force waking Jiang Sizhe up. Didn't I tell you to eat? Yes, it's Mr. Su. Jiang Sizhe, who heard Su Yunbo's voice, immediately jumped up. Where is it? I'll be there soon. Can you tell me where your home is? I'll drive to pick you up, Su Yunbo said impatiently. You don't need to tell me where to eat, I'll be there soon. Jiang Sizhe held his phone on his shoulder and desperately stuffed his legs into his pants. Just got up, right? Su Yunbo was waiting for a traffic light on the phone. Or tell me where you live, and I'll go pick you up with Xiaolin. Embarrassed Jiang Sizhe gave his address to 24, Jiangpu Street. I'll go downstairs soon. Okay, we'll be there soon, Su Yunbo said and immediately hung up the phone. 10 minutes later, Jiang Sizhe saw an SUV at his doorstep, with Lin Yi and Su Yunbo sitting inside. Alright, everyone is here. Let's go down where to eat. Lin Yi looked at Su Yunbo driving ahead. Go to the private room of Gingqing Tower. Su Yunbo drove the car towards Gingqing Tower. After ordering the dishes, Lin Yi looked at Su Yunbo. Mr. Su, why did you ask me to come out for dinner? As Lin Yi spoke, a woman walked in from behind the door. After that, the room seemed to be quarantined. This woman, who was in her 20s and about 160 years tall, was wearing a qipao. After entering, she sat next to Su Yunbo. Who is this? Lin Yi asked Su Yunbo. Don't ask, the woman immediately interrupted Su Yunbo's speech. I am the substitute who was eliminated from the last game, but the power behind me has not withdrawn at all. What was the last game? Lin Yi asked in confusion. I became a proxy traveler over 200 years ago, and you have also heard of the legend about the river in this city. Are you telling the story about the river god giving up his gills and fins to land? Lin Yi asked the woman. That's right, it's that legend, but that legend was passed down by me. The woman joked, so what do you want to know? What is a proxy practitioner? And what are the purposes of those high-dimensional creatures? Su Yunbo asked the woman, and who are you? Do you say you became a proxy practitioner over 200 years ago? My name is Wang Fangli, and I am 20.4 years old and over 200 years old. Due to becoming the successor of the owl, I will not age so easily. Wang Fangli patted the table and said, the forces behind me are high-dimensional life forms that ignore the time constraints of our world. They can appear at any time, and those who are endowed with their power can live forever. However, they cannot directly intervene in our world, so they need to act on behalf of us. If it weren't for you burning those 4 coffins, they might not have noticed us here, although there are many agents acting recklessly. What does it mean? Su Yunbo, puzzled, patted the table and said. Because inside those 4 coffins are the people who reached a consensus in the game, as long as they don't die, those high-latitude creatures won't notice this world again. Wang Fangli answered Su Yunbo's question. So what do you, these proxy travelers, mean? Lin Yi stared fixedly at Wang Fangli. And why did some people still have the power of you before those 4 coffins were burned down? Because the game is not over, you killed the last player and they are ready to start the game again. Aren't you a player? Embarrassed Su Yunbo said. I was originally there, but the high-latitude creatures behind me wanted to modify the future, so they committed a foul and were locked up. Wang Fangli looked at Jiang Sizhe. It seems they are very interested in you, but don't act as their substitutes casually. What does that mean? Jiang Sizhe looked at Wang Fangli with a confused expression on his face. There are 2 types of proxy travelers. One type is those who directly receive their power. These people will be directly controlled and attached to them by them, but they can only use less than half of their power. The other type is those who become partners with them and can use all of their power. Is that so? Can we trust you? Naive Jiang Sizhe asked Wang Fangli. If you get involved in the game, then I won't be able to help at all. I belong to someone outside the game now, and I don't want to get involved in the game. Wang Fangli immediately left the room, and then the waiter brought dishes one after another. Xiao Jiang, now you can apply for a job exchange with Xiaolin in time. Otherwise, if you act aggressively, you won't be able to break free from time at all, Su Yunbo said during dinner. No, actually my mother was taken away by those things, I can't be alone. Jiang Sizhe said while eating. Then I can rest assured. Lin Yi handed over a dozen talismans to Jiang Sizhe. Chapter 5 Tree Killing Case, Part 1. You are listening at novelfull.audio. After the woman left, Su Yunbo and Jiang Sizhe started eating, but in a corner of the city, a homeless man was washing his hands by the river, constantly complaining about his life before wandering in his mind. Do you want to get rid of your current life and return to the past where you had no worries about food and clothing? A pale and powerless voice echoed in the homeless man's mind. Who is it? The frightened homeless man looked around. Do you want to go back to your previous life? The pale and helpless voice said to the homeless man, as long as you promise me, I can help you. Really, the homeless man said excitedly, but can you do it? No problem, the pale and powerless voice kept wandering in my mind. Do you know the legend about this river? The river gods of these rivers gave up on them in order to become humans. They had gills to breathe in the water and flowing fins, and in the end, they became humans to pursue their love. The homeless man looked around. You must be an abandoned thing. I am the river god abandoning his divine power. The pale and powerless voice said helplessly, I can give you some divine power. So can I become a god? The homeless man excitedly said, ignoring the tentacles that stretched out in the water and began to drag him into the water. Yes, you will. The pale and powerless voice began to become excited. You will become the only god of this city. The homeless man who was swallowed up in the water showed a happy expression. On November 10th at 10:08, in a dim alley, many street women were blocking one man after another as they passed by. Hey, these street girls are committing crimes, a strange voice said in someone's mind. Little brother, do you want to wash your hair? A street girl standing at the end of the alley stopped a slightly overweight man with a backpack in a place that other street girls had not seen. Kill her, she's an unrepentant person. The voice continued in the man's mind. How much does it cost to wash hair? The man said in a cold voice. We need to go in before we talk. The street-standing woman pulled the man into a courtyard where there was a tree. What are you doing inside? You can eliminate them all here, damn them all. The voice in the man's mind said anxiously. What exactly do you do? The man and the street-standing woman entered the house in the yard, with only a bed and dim lighting inside. Aren't you here to have fun? The street girl slowly took off her clothes. Are you still carrying a backpack? Looking for fun? The man slammed his backpack heavily onto the ground. Dong! The man stood at the door and took out a wooden block from his backpack. What are you doing? You're going to do something that requires extra money. The street-standing woman looked awkwardly at the wooden stump the man took out. You finally understand that you want to eliminate her, she's a criminal. The voice in the man's mind said happily. All right, come and get the money. The man said and patted the door. The wooden door immediately began to take root, and then it turned into a tree. What do you want to do? The streetwalker panicked and ran towards another exit. Ha, there's another exit. The man quickly chased the street-standing woman. You've committed a crime, you have to accept, punish. Don't let her run away. The voice in the man's mind began to say crazily. Change, pervert. The street girl ran to the door in a panic. You can't run away. The branches of the tree in the courtyard quickly grabbed the street-standing woman. Help, help. The leaves of the tree in the courtyard blocked the street girl's mouth, and then the tree in the courtyard was stuffed into the trunk. Upon hearing the cry for help, the man standing at the door ran into the courtyard and saw no one. What's the situation? The person running in didn't see anyone in the yard, while the street-standing woman was hanging high from a tree. There's nothing fun. After the person running in entered the room, they found the man packing things alone. Where's Xiaoying? The person running in grabbed the man's collar, only to find that he was too fat to catch him. Kill him too, he shouldn't be alive like this. If you don't bother looking here, she might have run away. The man knocked off the hand of the person who ran in with his hand. As the man ran in with his bag on his back, his heart was filled with resistance. If anything happens to Xiaoying, you'll be dead. Suddenly, a cold sweat broke out from behind the person who ran in. Get out of here, pervert. You give him to me too. The voice in the man's mind tempted him to say. Wait for now, the bad guys will have their retribution sooner or later, the man said as he walked. On November 14 at 16:24, more than a dozen men led by the street girl were searching for the street girl named Xiaoying, but they all found nothing. Afterwards, they had a meeting in a room. Let's call the police, we've been missing for 4 days, said the person who ran into the room before. Then call the police, said the strongest man among the men. Hauga, Minna from my house is also missing. After a man in the crowd finished speaking, another man also began to complain that the street-standing woman he brought was also missing. What's the situation? Nearly 6 street girls are missing here. Hauga looked at the other men in confusion. Could it be that they ran away? How could it be, Minna? She didn't bring her ID card, money, or phone, so she ran away. The man who said the street girl she was carrying disappeared and said, do you believe it? Report it, said the 6 men who were missing the women standing on the street in a panic. Let's not mess around here, otherwise there won't be anyone missing. The men who were not missing from the other street girls under our command all said in panic. Don't do this, let's call the police first if there are missing people, and let the police investigate this case, Haugu said loudly as he patted the table. For those who are not missing, let our subordinates not come out and stand up in the next few days. Okay. Everyone at the scene calmed down. On November 14 at 17:45, police officers were eating in the cafeteria at the security police station. Su Suo, there is a notice for a meeting at the sub-bureau. The auxiliary police officer in the lobby ran to the cafeteria with a copy. Okay, let me take a look. Su put down the dishes and took the document. I will arrange for someone to come over. Su Suo, what's going on? An elderly police officer asked Su Suo. Tell Yunbo that he is going to the sub-bureau for a meeting. Su Suo handed over the documents in his hand to the auxiliary police. Okay. The auxiliary police officer who took the documents quickly ran towards the second floor. Okay, I will go. Su Yunbo, who received the document, said after changing into a formal attire and immediately ran to the cafeteria. Su Suo, I need to use the director's dedicated car. Take it. Su Suo glanced at Su Yunbo in formal attire and handed over a string of keys. This emergency meeting is held by the city bureau, and it is called for you to go. Let's go to the meeting first to see what's going on. Su Yunbo quickly ran to the car outside and drove towards the sub-bureau. On November 14 at 21:23, in the conference room of the Public Security Bureau in Pinyin District, Zhejiang Province, a Taoist sat on the left with a young boy, while a burly male police officer in his 40s and a female police officer in her 30s, dressed in formal attire, sat on the right. Are you Officer Su? Taoist, and Su Yunbo said, I am a Taoist from Tianyun and a supernatural consultant from the Municipal Bureau. Hello, I am Officer Su Yunbo, Su Yunbo said respectfully. You are the police officer Su who has repeatedly solved strange cases. The young man sitting next to Tianyun Taoist happily said, I have heard rumors about you in the city bureau. It's just good luck, the male police officer sitting on the right said angrily. Zhao Xiu, you just want someone else to solve a case. The female police officer next to the male police officer patted his shoulder and said, Do you dare someone else, Officer Su, to fight? I dare not. Zhao Xiu looked at Su Yunbo and whispered. Don't brag if you dare, the policewoman said with a smile. Old Su, do you all know each other now? A police officer and an auxiliary police officer walked in and sat in the middle of the conference table. Then let Zhao Xiu tell you about the case. The auxiliary police officer next to the police officer who just came in took a few files from the female police officer and distributed them to Su Yunbo and Tianyun Daoist. Zheng, let me tell you about the case. This time it's like this, Zhao Xiu stood up. There's an incredible case in our jurisdiction. Zhao Xiu looked at the file in his hand and found that there were suddenly 6 street girls missing outside the jurisdiction. This afternoon, a villager discovered a hand on a tree and scared the whole village. Later, when I and the female police officer next to me went to the police, we found that there was not only a pair of hands growing on top of the tree, but also a head that had already rolled its eyes on the top. Later, it was confirmed by the missing family that the person was one of the street girls who had disappeared. Then we also found the heads and hands of other street girls growing on the trees in the village. This kind of thing is really strange. It shouldn't be done by ghosts and monsters, said the Tianyun Taoist, sweating all over his body. It must be a monster. Don't talk nonsense here, there's no such thing as a monster. Zhao Xiu patted the table and said, we asked the villagers, and before the missing person went missing, we saw a fat man with a backpack enter the village. And the surveillance footage caught him entering and leaving the village, but there were no fingerprints of him at the scene. I'm not sure, I need to go to the scene to find out, Su Yunbo said, looking at the file in his hand. Tianyun Taoist, in your professional opinion, what kind of monster can do this? The female police officer looked at Tianyun Taoist. Tree demon, an old tree demon that has been around for 100 or 1,000 years. Tianyun Taoist waved his brush and said. So let's go to the scene tomorrow and have a look. The female police officer looked at Su Yunbo, so we can also determine what monster did the terrorist case. So let's set up a special task force now to investigate this case. Zheng, who came in later, said, Old Su, I will issue a loan order to the security office. Do you have any other requirements? I need to bring multiple auxiliary police partners, Su Yunbo said awkwardly. No problem. Zheng patted the table. Do the rest of you have anything else to say? If not, we'll gather here tomorrow. No more, said the young man next to Tianyun Taoist. So the meeting is over. Zheng stood up. Officer Su, we may have to rely on you for this. The female police officer finished packing up and said to Su Yunbo. I didn't know who did it until I looked at it tomorrow. Su Yunbo looked at the file in his hand again. Chapter 6. Tree Killing Case, Central. You are listening at novelfull.audio. On November 15 at 4:45, outside the back door of a bar in a small alley in Pinyin district, the slightly overweight man continued to carry his backpack and stopped 2 thin and weak figures, a man and a woman. What kind of person are you? The men in the 2 thin and weak figures immediately felt the slightly obese man. They're doing business, drug trafficking. The slightly obese man kept saying in his mind, it's not enough to harm himself, but to harm a few more people. These people are demons. Judge you. The slightly obese man immediately threw his backpack to the ground. Dong. The heavy sound of the backpack falling made the 2 people in the alley quickly run towards the back door of the bar where they came out. Hey, don't go. The climbing vine behind the bar quickly sealed the back of the bar. What do you want to do? The woman in the 2 took out her phone and said to the slightly overweight man, I called the police. Call the police. The slightly obese man slowly walked towards the 2 of them. This person has more than 1 kilogram of drugs on him, right? The slightly obese man pointed at the man. I won't die here. The thin and weak man ran towards the depths of the alley, which was a dead end, with bustling streets on one side and turbulent rivers on the other. You can't escape. Countless aquatic plants grow rapidly from the river, because they won't let you go. What do you want to do? The water grass in front of the thin and weak man quickly wrapped around him, and in his eyes, the water grass looked like one fragmented drug user after another who had been harmed by him. Gulu. The water grass quickly dragged the thin and weak man into the water. No, don't come over. The other woman looked at the slightly obese man in fear when she saw this situation. Ha! The slightly overweight man glanced at her and walked out of the alley. Let her go. He saw the woman pee all over the ground. Why don't you solve that woman? Isn't she a drug addict? The voice in the slightly obese man's mind said urgently, she's committing a crime. She didn't, we just stopped her. The slightly obese man slowly walked towards the subway station. On November 15 at 8:21, Su Yunbo and Jiang Sizhe, dressed in plain clothes, sat in a red Buick in an open space outside the gate of the Public Security Bureau in Pinyin District, Zhejiang Province. Mr. Su, why did you come over in plain clothes? Jiang Sizhe, wearing a white short-sleeved shirt with purple claw marks in the middle and jeans with holes everywhere, looked at Su Yunbo, who was wrapped in a blue shirt and black suit pants in his windbreaker jacket. I really don't understand your young people's aesthetics. What are you wearing? Su Yunbo scratched his head and said, we'll go to the crime scene when Jing team comes. What case should we take action on? Jiang Sizhe said casually, is there someone selling drugs in the bar who wants me to go fishing for drug dealers? No. Don't think you're as powerful as yourself. Su Yunbo looked disdainfully at Jiang Sizhe. You little brat. I'm afraid you'll fall into a place where you can't save yourself. Are they those proxy travelers? Jiang Sizhe remembered the girl who appeared during a meal before. The monsters behind them are very scary. Old Su. A man in police uniform knocked on the car window with a bag of documents in his arms. Jing team. Su Yunbo opened the passenger door. Let's go to the Cat Whiskers shelter. Su Yunbo immediately started the car after Jing team sat in the passenger seat. Yeah, you might have experience with that case. Jing Dui, who was sitting in the co-pilot, said. On November 15 at 8:32, Su Yunbo drove his own car to the Cat Whiskers shelter. Why are you only here now? Tianyun Daoren and a new assistant stood at the entrance of the Maoshu police station. We don't have as much leisure as you, Taoist Tianyun. Su Yunbo parked the car and Jiang Sizhe and Jing Dui got off. Master, I can tell them that I'm not easy to mess with. The little attendant next to Tianyun Taoist pulled out a talisman. Don't cause trouble. Taoist Tianyun blocked the little servant's eyes with a brush of dust. We are not in an enemy relationship now, let's not create enemies. Come on. The female police officer and the female auxiliary police officer from the previous meeting walked out of the Cat's Whiskers. Come and have some tea first. We need to watch the scene first and drink it when we come back to analyze. Tianyun Taoist said as he withdrew the dust. The Taoist is right. The male police officer from the previous meeting also walked down. Should we go by car or on foot? Let's walk and observe if there are surveillance cameras and other observation points here. Su Yunbo said while thinking. What about you, Taoist? The male police officer looked at Taoist Tianyun. Why don't we just walk? It's not that we can't walk. After Tianyun Taoist finished speaking, Su Yunbo and the others began to walk quickly. Ah. Because Tianyun Taoist ran quickly like flying. This is the husband of one of the missing persons. The male police officer introduced a man in his 30s who was 1.5 meters tall with a protruding chin and looked up at Su Yunbo in front of them. You should know the true appearance of that prisoner, right? Su Yunbo said to the short man in the courtyard where he was wrapped. Don't ask those useless questions. Each of them said they would recognize the criminal again when they saw him, but after they called the police, a few more disappeared and they didn't recognize that person. The male police officer shook his head and looked at the short man. The people at the top of the tree are almost exhausted. Tianyun Dao shouted to the people below from the top of the tree. This is. Su Yunbo saw something under the tree root. Ha. The tree's shadow quickly spread out, covering Su Yunbo and the short man beside him, and then the shadow quickly devoured Su Yunbo and the others. Mr. Su. Jiang Sizhe immediately rushed toward Su Yunbo when he saw this situation. Dao Chang, the male police officer under the tree nervously said, Tree swallows people. What? Tianyun Dao Chang jumped off the tree. Qiuyun, what do you see? Tree, the shadow of the tree has swallowed up the person, said Tianyun Taoist's attendant. Hello, Xiaojiang. After appearing in the darkness, Su Yunbo fumbled and found tree roots under his feet. He then used his phone to take a photo and found that Jiang Sizhe had fainted here. Wake up. Under Su Yunbo's constant shaking, Jiang Sizhe slowly woke up. General Su, where is this? Jiang Sizhe looked at the dark place. Who are you and why are you investigating this case? Su Yunbo heard the voice of the short man and handed his phone to Jiang Sizhe. Are you the one who made those women like this? Su Yunbo shouted, are you one of those high-latitude creatures? I did it. After the short man's voice finished speaking, a tree root quickly crawled towards Su Yunbo and the others. Shua. Su Yunbo took out a Swiss military knife from his coat and inserted the tree roots into the ground. Why are you doing these things? It's just a request from the substitute. After the short man's voice finished speaking, the 3 tree roots quickly crawled towards Su Yunbo and the others. So why don't you erase what you did as a proxy traveler? Why did you leave behind those people and trees for us to investigate? Su Yunbo took out 3 copper coins and hit the attacking tree roots, and the copper coins that hit the roots immediately disappeared. According to the rules, I cannot violate the thoughts of the proxy, otherwise I will be punished by the judge. After the short man's voice ended, countless leaves flew quickly towards Su Yunbo and the others. Sharp leaves quickly pierced through Su Yunbo's windbreaker, which he used to block them. Then they basically curled up together and hissed. The sound of cutting the windbreaker fabric like blade leaves passed through Jiang Sizhe and Su Yunbo's minds. At that moment, Su Yunbo closed his eyes. Fight with them. Jiang Sizhe pulled out the Swiss military knife with his left hand from the ground, which was inserted into the tree root. Do you want to win? A cheerful male voice echoed through Jiang Sizhe's mind. I think. Jiang Sizhe replied to the voice in his mind as he watched the leaves slowly penetrate the windbreaker. Pull it up. The voice kept tempting Jiang Sizhe. Pull out the blade that can cut the injustice of the world. Bang! A blue flame spread from Jiang Sizhe's left hand, and the Swiss military knife inserted into the tree root quickly turned into a 1-meter-long tang knife. The tree root quickly withered, and Jiang Sizhe's eyes shone red. Advanced player. Monkey, join the game. This voice echoed in the minds of all the agents. That monkey, it's best not to provoke him, because we've already won a lot of games. The homeless man by the river is communicating with Finn. Finn told the homeless man, and it's still unclear whether it came in the form of a substitute or a descendant. Jiang Sizhe shook the tang knife in his left hand, and the sharp leaves were burned to ashes by the flames. Later, in the darkness, Jiang Sizhe saw the short man. I saw you. Monkey, what are you doing in this game? The short man said in a low voice, aren't you a high-end player in a high-end game? I just feel it's unfair. You said that everyone is in the chaos camp. The voice in Jiang Sizhe's mind pierced through the Tang Dao in Jiang Sizhe's hand. If no one follows the order, then these people will only be killed by you. That way, the game won't be fun. Okay. The short man quickly retreated and a light shone on Su Yunbo's face. Ha! Su Yunbo gasped and looked at Jiang Sizhe. How did we survive? Su Yunbo closed his eyes and only heard the conversation between the short man and a voice he didn't know. At the last moment, someone came to save us. Jiang Sizhe helped Su Yunbo out of a tunnel under the cat's whiskers. Hey, as my representative, why are you so humble? Said the monkey in Jiang Sizhe's mind. You also heard their conversation, it seems that there are several lineups in their game. Su Yunbo and Jiang Sizhe slowly walked back to Maoshu. Mr. Su. Lin Yi, who heard that Su Yunbo and his companions had disappeared, also arrived at the Cat's Beard Depot. I'm fine. Su Yunbo tied the tattered windbreaker around his waist. Little martial uncle. Tianyun Taoist searched the village after Su Yunbo and Jiang Sizhe disappeared. They only found the short man who was unconscious at the entrance of the village and went back to the police station to find more people to help find him. They saw Lin Yi rushing to the police station gate. You three-legged cat is also here. Lin Yi patted Taoist Tianyun's shoulder. You should learn more talismans and not go see any feng shui. Lin Yi lectured to Taoist Tianyun. Mr. Su, where did you go? Who took you away? The male police officer from Maoshu asked Su Yunbo. I don't know, but it should be related to those things that we can come back, Su Yunbo said, not to the male police officer, because Lin Yi quickly walked up to Su Yunbo upon hearing this. They have just experienced such a terrifying thing, let's take a break and analyze first. Lin Yi patted Su Yunbo's shoulder and walked towards the outside of the Cat's Whiskers. At 12:36 on November 15, at the slightly chubby man's house. There are also proxy travelers over there, you don't want to be caught, just listen to me, said the voice in the slightly chubby man's mind. Are the people over there stronger than you? The slightly chubby man was cooking in the kitchen. Yes, so if you want to be chivalrous and righteous now, someone needs to help you apologize. Okay, but what I need is someone who is obedient. Later, an organization appeared on the internet, uploading videos and images of those who were killed by criminals by trees. They claimed to be the trial church, and the people in that church later claimed to have the ability to control plants and judge those who harm others. Chapter 7. Tree Killing Case, Part 2. You are listening at novelfull.audio. On November 15 at 11:08, Su Yunbo, who had recovered from the Cat Whiskers, was in the office of the director of the Cat Whiskers. Old Su, have you found any clues? The on-duty director of the Cat Whiskers office is brewing tea for Su Yunbo. I found something special. As Su Yunbo was speaking, a tall, thin man in his 40s wearing a suit walked in. Sorry to bother you, the man in his 40s said in a deep voice as he knocked on the door. Gongliang boss, why are you here? The on-duty director of the Cat Whiskers office led the person at the door into the director's office. I'm here to help investigate case number 003. The man known as Gongliang boss took out a fan identification from the Zhejiang Public Security Bureau from his briefcase. Don't forget that Gongliang Shua is a special investigation consultant. What do you have in your hand? The on-duty director of the Cat Whiskers office looked awkwardly at Gongliang Shua. This is something with magical abilities. Some people call it an artifact, some call it a sacred artifact, but I prefer to call it a spiritual artifact. Gongliang Shua opened his fan and the fierce wind quickly spread from the office to the entire police station, before quickly dissipating. So magical. The duty director of the Cat Whiskers office carefully touched the fan. It's nothing. Gongliang Shua saw Su Yunbo drinking tea from the corner of his eye. Are you Officer Su, who specializes in handling supernatural incidents? In the rest room of the police officers at the Cat's Whiskers shelter, Jiang Sizhe was blown across his face by a gentle breeze. Who left this rotten thing, said the male voice in Jiang Sizhe's mind, and this power? You finally spoke. Jiang Sizhe slowly closed his eyes, and a man wearing trendy clothing and a monkey mask stood in a pitch-black consciousness. Yo! How could you find me? The man wearing a monkey mask smiled and said, What do you want to know from me? Are you outside of time? Can you change history? Jiang Sizhe asked the man wearing a monkey mask with tears in his eyes. I don't know what you're talking about, but I can tell you that these of us can appear in your world at any time. The man wearing a monkey mask slowly walked up to Jiang Sizhe, wiping away the tears from his face. Even if you modify it, it will be guided back to its original form by the paradox. So what do you want? Can you stop the people they slaughtered everywhere in the last game? Jiang Sizhe stared at the man wearing a monkey mask in front of him. Definitely. I'm a high-level player. The man wearing a monkey mask looked at the happy Jiang Sizhe in front of him. But I need you to win this game. So how can I help you win this game? Jiang Sizhe looked at the man wearing a monkey mask. Let me introduce myself first, said the man wearing a monkey mask. My name is Monkey, a high-level gamer. This game is on a point system, and you are my agent. Monkey shook his left hand and an imaginary points board appeared in front of Jiang Sizhe. There are 10 games in total, and the higher the points, the winner. Why only have 20 points? Jiang Sizhe looked at the flashing 20 on the scoreboard. There are 2 ways to obtain points. One is through gaming, and the other is through playing games with either the defender or the chaotic. The defender can capture the chaotic to take their points, while the chaotic can directly kill the defender to take their points. The monkey patted Jiang Sizhe and said, the only abilities I can give you for points now are Flame Forging and Flame Eyes, both of which you have used. It's like this. Jiang Sizhe stared blankly at the hand that had previously held the Swiss military knife. Anyway, the game hasn't started yet, so don't mess around. The monkey looked at the dull young man in front of him. Jiang Sizhe. So are we. Jiang Sizhe looked at the monkey, chaotic. No, we are orderly, said the monkey happily, but the game hasn't started yet, let's not expose it. Oh. Jiang Sizhe said, looking at the monkey, how many times have you started playing games in this world? It's been hundreds of times, I haven't counted it since, said the monkey casually. What is the purpose of the game? Jiang Sizhe grabbed the monkey's shoulder. Promotion. Lower-level gamers are promoted to higher-level gamers, while higher-level gamers are promoted to higher-level gamers. The monkey happily said, after reaching the highest level, there is the ability to control and create the world. Creativity. Jiang Sizhe, who heard this word, looked at the monkey excitedly. So, do you have the ability to create the world? I don't have any, so I want to win the game. The monkey patted the scoreboard. The higher the points in this game, the more abilities I can give you, or exchange things for people around you. The monkey quickly woke up Jiang Sizhe. What's wrong? Lin Yi looked at Jiang Sizhe. Did you have a nightmare? It's okay. Jiang Sizhe looked at Taoist Tianyun respectfully handing tea to Lin Yi beside him. Senior uncle, how could you? Tianyun Taoist said while being stared at by Lin Yi. Do you have to take care of my affairs? Lin Yi said fiercely. No, but senior uncle, the monsters this time are very powerful. Taoist Tianyun took out the information given by Zhang's team. With me here, you don't need to go. Lin Yi said contemptuously to Tianyun Taoist, what can you do with your 3-legged martial arts? Master. Taoist Jianyun's servant quickly ran to Taoist Jianyun's side and said, Great, you Gongliang Shuo. The voice of Taoist Tianyun quickly reached the office of the on-duty director of Maoshu Station. Tianyun Taoist, why are you here too? Gong Liangshuo was still chatting in the duty director's office, but he suddenly exclaimed in surprise when he saw Tianyun Taoist rushing over. It seems everyone is here, let's analyze the case. Su Yunbo said in a deep voice on the side. Ah. Tianyun Taoist and Gong Liangshuo stopped arguing, are you? This is the famous special detective in our Ping sub-bureau. Officer Su. The duty director of the Cat Whisker Station introduced Su Yunbo to the people present at the scene. You're the sheriff who solved those 3 coffins, I thought he was an old man. Gong Liangshuo said awkwardly. The uniqueness of the victim's appearance this time was killing with a tree, possibly using their abilities for the first time or something else, so the criminals left some small clues at the scene. Su Yunbo took out a small medal from his pocket, which had the words rice ears and sickles and 2017 on it. "This is a medal from the law school, how could it appear there?" said a police officer in the office of the head of the Catbeard's office. "How did you discover it?" asked Su Yunbo, the deputy director on duty at the Cat Whisker station. "When I found out, he had only a corner in the soil, maybe it had fallen here recently." Su Yunbo pointed to the remaining soil in the rice ears. "We searched there in a carpet style, but didn't find it." The deputy director on duty at the Maoshu Institute looked at the medal. "This person is a high-achieving student from the law school, and this is the Medal of Honor. It seems that the owner of this medal is a talented student from the law school." Gong Liangshua patted Su Yunbo's shoulder, and the law school's Medal of Honor quickly fell to the ground. "What are you doing?" Tianyun Taoist scolded Gong Liangshua loudly. "The clue you finally found, what should you do if you lose this shot? Do you all think that top students in law school will know how to break the law?" Gong Liangshua caught the Medal of Honor that fell to the ground. "And can we find tricks with people like them who break the law? You can tell who the suspect is by checking who has received the Medal of Honor among the recent members of the law school," said Taoist Tianyun, who had won the Medal of Honor. "I'll send someone to investigate immediately." The deputy director on duty at the Cat Whisker station immediately asked an auxiliary police officer to go to the police to investigate the owner of the Medal of Honor. "By the way, Lao Su, after you discovered this thing, you disappeared directly. So where did you go?" Tianyun Taoist's attendant told Gong Liangshua everything about today when he saw him. "I'm not sure about this, but I know the enemy can control the tree, and it's all about the tree." Su Yunbo looked at the previous windbreaker. "All of the tree." Gong Liangshua looked at Su Yunbo's gaze in confusion. "What kind of tree can cut clothes like that? Is it a tree root? It's a monster that can quickly get people away, it must be an old demon from the Black Mountain." Taoist Tianyun distributed a dozen spiritual talismans to all the police officers on site. "Divine Stick, do you still want to buy some magical tool from you?" Gong Liangshua looked at Tianyun Taoist who was distributing spiritual talismans everywhere. "Can you give me a protective spirit weapon?" Su Yunbo said calmly to Gong Liangshua. "No, it's not good." An auxiliary police officer ran into the office of the on-duty director of the Cat Whisker shelter. "What's wrong?" Taoist Tianyun looked at the auxiliary police officer who hurriedly ran in. "Did the Black Mountain demon kill again?" It was the sub-bureau that transferred a case file, and a bizarre case appeared at Shirtang Station on the other side of Zhejiang Province. The auxiliary police officer handed the printed file to the duty director of Maoshu Station. "What an incredible case." Taoist Tianyun awkwardly stuffed the spiritual talisman back into his bag. "Mr. Su." Jiang Sizhe walked to the office of the on-duty director of the Cat Whisker's office, whose face quickly changed. "What's going on?" Su Yunbo asked the on-duty director of the Cat Whisker's office, whose face was becoming increasingly ugly. "I'll send someone to take you to Shirtang." After the deputy director on duty at the Maoshu station finished speaking, Su Yunbo immediately left the office of the director on duty at the Maoshu station. "No need, I'll go over there immediately," Su Yunbo said as he walked. "Officer Su." Gong Liangshua also followed Su Yunbo with his bag. "Wait for me. Let's get in the car first." Su Yunbo watched as one car after another drove towards Shirtang Station. "What's going on?" Lin Yi watched as one police officer after another got into the police car with equipment. Beside Taoist Tianyun, monsters have appeared in Shirtang. Tianyun Taoist told Lin Yi about the situation in the information. "You go help, I'll go back to the safety post." Lin Yi started running towards the subway station. Chapter 8. The Value of European Physical and Mental Perception. You are listening at novelfull.audio. "What's wrong?" Jiang Sizhe caught up with Su Yunbo who walked out. "Mr. Su." It should be someone who has discovered abnormal levels of body and mind in Europe. Su Yunbo inserted the car key into his own car. What is the value? Jiang Sizhe followed Su Yunbo into the car. I'll explain it to you when it's time. Su Yunbo, who was focused on driving, drove the car and sat in the back seat with Gaowei Games. The EU mind sense value is obtained after a creature's rationality is reset to 0. When a creature's EU mind sense value is divided into 3 stages and falls below 0, the first stage of the creature will become crazy and possess strong strength and speed, the second stage of the creature will acquire special abilities, but the creature will become even crazier, with a significant increase in attack and destructive power, the third stage of the creature will become like several creatures chimeric, and both damage and aggression will increase to an incalculable value. Gaowei Games took out a pair of gloves from his bag and handed them to Jiang Sizhe. If you want to deal with them, this will be used. What is this? Jiang Sizhe looked at the gloves handed over. These things are of no use to you, said the man wearing a monkey mask in Jiang Sizhe's mind. When you arrive, check if they are the creatures left by the previous game, and then deal with them. There will be points to be credited. This is a spiritual tool that can make your strength and sense of body and mind go back and forth from those who are worth 1 level. Gaowei Games took out his previous fan from his bag. I use this to save my life. On November 15 at 13.24, a girl found Zheng's team in the Pinyin sub-bureau. How did this monkey join this low-level game? A female voice, like a bell, looked at Zheng's team at the entrance of the criminal investigation team. Report. Come in. A cute 1.5-meter girl with tiger teeth in police uniform appeared at the door in front of Zheng's team. Zhejiang Special Crime Investigation Department. Zhong Jimeng, report. The girl said, holding up her chubby right hand. Zhong Jimeng, it's a special situation now. You set off with us to Shirtang, where there are 3 monsters in the 3rd stage of European physical and mental senses. 3. Zheng, wearing bulletproof clothes, took Zhong Jimeng to a police car at the sub-bureau. On November 15 at 14.24, at the entrance of a dilapidated building in the jurisdiction of Shirtang Suo, there lay a robust and lizard-like creature with suction cups on its hands and 2 bone spurs growing from its pipa bones. Did you call for support from the city bureau? A sniper aimed his sniper rifle at the strange lizard on a high-rise building outside the abandoned building. The city bureau has already sent all the police forces available in the city to support them, said the observer next to the sniper, looking at the 2 identical-looking monsters in the abandoned building with his sniper gun. I hope they don't go to war until the support arrives. In the abandoned building, 2 people wearing suspenders and looking similar to chickens used feathers to quickly piece bricks and soil together into a ball. On November 15 at 15.10, in a room not far from the abandoned building, several police officers were nervously organizing information. Xiao Qin, those 3 monsters haven't moved, have they? A police officer with the rank of my sui asked the other police officers inside. Deng Ju, according to the sniper's observation report, those 3 monsters have not moved for over 3 hours, a female police officer reported with information, but the skins of those monsters can only be penetrated with 75mm armor-piercing shells. I know, so we can only use close combat experts. Deng Ju looked at a man in his 40s wearing a tang suit with a black background and blue flowers, who was brought in by a police officer. Master Ma, it seems we need you to take action this time. Deng Ju, don't worry, even if I risk my life, I will solve them. Master Ma elegantly walked out of the room. If anything happens to me, Qingyue will help take care of it. Humph. When Master Ma left, he collided with Zheng's team and Zheng's team glared fiercely at Master Ma. Lao Zheng, you're here. Deng Ju watched as Zheng team and Zhong Jimeng entered. Let us, those who have learned combat, go with this monster. Zheng watched as Master Ma walked towards the abandoned building. Didn't he say he was a lightning whip? Let him deal with things he couldn't handle to let him know he wasn't a master. Deng Ju looked at the area that had already entered the abandoned building. Click. The monster, resembling a chameleon, shouted at Master Ma and immediately shot out the bone spurs on the Pipa bone. Dong! A huge noise created a 1-meter radius pit in front of Master Ma. Damn it! Master Ma immediately ran back and forth. I didn't say this monster was so strong. Whoosh! The chameleon monster that saw Master Ma escape began to spray bone spurs while chasing Master Ma. What is Master Ma doing? The sniper on the high-rise looked at Master Ma, who was running away and waving contemptuous gestures with his hand, using the scope of his sniper rifle. Maybe we need to move the battlefield to a safe place, said the observer next to the sniper. Shoo! A quick figure knocked away a bone spur that was about to pierce through Master Ma. Damn it, 2 spiritual weapons. If we can't deal with this monster, we'll be at a loss. Gong Liangshua looked at Su Yunbo wearing a pair of shoes with lightning symbols and gloves that he had given Jiang Sizhe before. Hey, don't look. The person with a monkey face mask in Jiang Sizhe's mind looked at the chameleon monster. That's the last boss in the game, it's all points. Boss. Bone Spike Chameleon, Sequence 009. Ability to become invisible, amputate to escape, defeat to earn 15 points, capture alive and hand in a reward of 30 points. In front of Jiang Sizhe, a virtual data box appeared. Whoosh! Several bone spurs quickly attacked Master Ma. What are you still doing here? Master Ma stopped in a daze as he looked at Su Yunbo, who suddenly appeared. Yes, upon hearing Su Yunbo speak, Master Ma quickly ran away from the chameleon monster. Dong! Dong! The sound of punches hitting bone spurs kept coming from Su Yunbo's fists. Bang! A burst of flames appeared directly on the chameleon monster. Jiang Sizhe, holding a tang sword with flames, inserted it into the chameleon monster's spine, but under the tang sword was only a piece of skin. Shoo! The chameleon monster's tongue quickly attacked Jiang Sizhe. Dong! As the last bone spur flew towards Su Yunbo saw a figure and a chameleon monster standing on the wall. This kid. Su Yunbo quickly jumped up and hit the tongue of the chameleon monster. Dong! With a loud burst, the chameleon monster's tongue was caught by Su Yunbo. Kid, I've already caught it. As Su Yunbo spoke, 2 bone spurs quickly attacked Su Yunbo. Bang! 2 fireballs shot from Jiang Sizhe's tang sword and collided with the bone spurs, and fireballs shot out at the chameleon monster. Dong! A girl's figure quickly hit the chameleon monster, and intense smoke and dust exploded on the wall where the chameleon monster was standing. Shoo! After the smoke and dust disappeared, the girl grabbed a skin left by a chameleon monster, running quite fast. The girl quickly ran towards the abandoned building where the chameleon monster was escaping. Jiang Sizhe. Su Yunbo pulled at Jiang Sizhe holding a flame tang dao. How did you become a substitute? What was the cost? I got it when the tree root saved you, and it didn't mean any harm to us. Jiang Sizhe jumped off the wall. I don't believe it, they are all evil. Su Yunbo stretched his muscles and veins, but now we need to take action to deal with these monsters first. Shoo! The 2 figures quickly moved up to the abandoned building, and the chameleon monster stopped quickly. 2 chickens wearing suspenders quickly attacked the girl chasing the chameleon monster. Dong! A lightning bolt quickly hit the 2 chickens. Did Master Ma take action? The sniper saw lightning rapidly striking the bodies of 2 chickens wearing suspenders. After the lightning hit the chickens wearing suspenders, the smoke wrapped the 2 chickens in suspenders. The lightning whip must be Master Ma, the observer said happily. Where did the chameleon go? Jiang Sizhe and Su Yunbo, who chased after the abandoned building, looked at the smoke and dust outside. Isn't there anyone else here? The person wearing a monkey mask looked at the smoke and dust rolled up by lightning. If there's no one, I'll open up the field and trap them. Mr. Su, there's no one else near this abandoned building. Jiang Sizhe and Su Yunbo saw the smoke and dust dissipate, and the two chickens in overalls used their wings to block the girl's thunderous punches on them. There's no one else, what does it want? Su Yunbo watched cautiously as the girl and two chickens in suspenders kept hitting back and forth. Mr. Su, I thought you knew how to wear mobile armor. A flame rapidly expanded from under Jiang Sizhe's feet, quickly enveloping the entire abandoned building. I'm wearing it. Su Yunbo lifted his clothes and supported him with a set of motorized exoskeletons. But these things are very resistant to impact. Duh. A drop of saliva dripped onto the ground, and the chameleon monster began to ambush the girl. Dong! Su Yunbo quickly jumped up and punched the chameleon monster's tongue, sneaking in front of the girl. Are you also a gamer? The person wearing a monkey face mask in Jiang Sizhe's mind appeared in front of him. Haha. The girl began to fight back and forth with two chickens wearing suspenders. Finally found you. Monkey. Why don't you find a substitute? Go ahead on your own. The flames quickly enveloped the abandoned building and then went out instantly. After the flames went out, the few people inside and the three monsters disappeared. 01, this is the observation point. The sniper observing from a distance reported in surprise. This is 01, observation point. What's wrong? Those two monsters and Officer Su have both disappeared. Chapter 9. Thunder Fury Mother Tiger. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Dead monkey. The girl punched and punched the two chickens with lightning in her hand, and they fought back and forth. How did you open the barrier? The girl vigorously punched the two chickens, and they immediately retreated into the abandoned building. The girl lay on the ground, and a tiger phantom transformed from lightning appeared on the girl's body. Little sister, let's cooperate. The male phantom wearing a wooden carved monkey mask and black sportswear with a monkey face embroidered on it appeared in front of Jiang Sizhe's mind. No cooperation. I can't solve them alone, the girl said and transformed into lightning. She quickly rushed towards the two chickens, and in an instant, the girl's right forearm hit one of the two chickens into the abandoned building. Dong! The girl deeply embedded a chicken into a wall of the abandoned building, and strands of cracks on the wall quickly ran around at the impact point. Another one. Su Yunbo quickly attacked the other chicken. Give it to me. Mr. Su. The chameleon stuck out its tongue and attacked Su Yunbo, but was discovered by Jiang Sizhe. As soon as the flame tang knife in Jiang Sizhe's hand struck the chameleon's tongue quickly retracted. Dong! The violent sound and smoke rolled up from the chicken that Su Yunbo hit, blocking Su Yunbo's field of vision. Dida! Dida! Raindrops scattered on the ground from the sky. Can you help control that chameleon? Jiang Sizhe immediately jumped towards the chameleon with a tang knife, but the chameleon immediately fled everywhere on the abandoned building. After a failed blow, Jiang Sizhe immediately sought help from the male phantom wearing a monkey mask. No, I can only remind you how to conquer these monsters, said the male phantom wearing a monkey mask. Now you can't catch up with that chameleon, after all, he has 3 special abilities. I don't believe it. Jiang Sizhe, standing on the exterior wall of the abandoned building, said, you just need to help me sense where it is. Jiang Sizhe used flame forging to continuously forge and combine the shoes with the wall, allowing him to stand on the wall. What do you want? If you use flame forging on a large scale, you will quickly collapse. The male phantom wearing a monkey mask nervously said, I don't want you to collapse here. After all, there are other players approaching here besides us. Don't worry, I will solve it quickly, and then help others find the origin of those 2 chickens. Tang Dao in Jiang Sizhe's hand once again turned back into a Swiss military knife. Okay, the male phantom wearing a monkey mask said helplessly. Dong, a loud noise came from the place where the girl was constantly discharging, as the chicken Su Yunbo was dealing with attacked the girl due to the smoke. Damn it! The girl blocked the chicken that was sneaking in, then quickly turned around and kicked it with a thunderous side kick. Gotta. And the chicken that was driven into the wall by the girl crawled out of the wall. Hey, do you want me to do a dozen or two? The girl said loudly, and Su Yunbo immediately rushed to the girl's position when he heard her voice. Why is it you? Isn't that agent coming to help? Don't forget there's also a very difficult enemy, Su Yunbo said, embedding the chicken that had just crawled out into the wall again. That gecko that keeps amputating, as long as it can't be amputated, won't it be enough? The girl threw a hook at the attacking chicken and flew it away. How about we deal with them first, and then we deal with the gecko? The girl quickly jumped up again, then continuously pounded the flying chicken with electric shocks in the air. Dong! Dong! Except for the first hook, all other attacks of the chicken were blocked by it. Ha, ha, ha. The chicken in the air kept chirping, as if endless mockery had made the girl very irritable. If I still have points, I will definitely beat you up. The girl shot the chicken into the abandoned building with a powerful volley in mid-air. Ah, ah, ah. The crowing of the chicken in the abandoned building echoed incessantly inside. How could it be like this? The girl who chased after the abandoned building looked at only one mirror slanting in front of the girl inside. What about that chicken? Boss. Phantom, Sequence 010. Ability. Dragging people into their most feared illusion and being able to directly reproduce things from the illusion in front of that person. Defeating can earn 15 points, capturing and returning a reward of 30 points. At the moment the girl saw the illusion, a virtual data box appeared in front of her. So this is the source. The girl raised her fist and hit the mirror, but cluck, cluck, cluck. The mocking sound of the chicken came from the mirror. Then, the environment in front of the girl quickly changed, and a green grass appeared in front of the girl. Here is. The girl began to look anxiously at the blazing flames on the grass in front of her, quickly wrapping her up. One after another, the fiery pythons in the flames began to quickly attack the girl. Me, how did I get back here? The girl began to run back desperately in fear. You're just a traitor, let's find it easy. The flame python howled as they approached the girl. You should have been a dropper like us, but you helped that player. If I don't help the players, they can only be sacrificed like you. The girl who stopped remembered that she was no longer the little girl of the past. I'm not easy to deal with. The girl lay on the ground, and lightning bolts ran from the girl to everywhere. One after another, the flame python was repelled by lightning. I have been a player for so long, and I am not the girl who had no fighting ability back then. Note. In the illusion, my strength is at its peak. After a virtual data box appeared in front of the girl, the words were written. You traitor. The crimson flames swept across the sky, our people have all arrived, you can't escape. Don't worry. The girl stood up and looked at the overwhelming red flames. I don't belong to this world, and I'm different from you. The girl shook her hand. I don't participate in many games, but I have the ability to get out of the current predicament. The lightning on the girl's body began to rush towards the red flames. Xiaoxia, you belong to this world. You can't escape. The flame python ahead howled at the girl, you can't escape your fate. Pada, pada. The running crimson flames, accompanied by sparse sounds, ran towards the girl. As she approached, the girl realized that the monsters that came later were standing one after another, covered in flames and holding butcher knives and mouse heads. Here we go, those genetically modified lackeys. Thunderbolts ran rapidly from the girl's body towards the ground, and the lightning that ran to the ground immediately attached the land to the girl. The land attached to the girl immediately turned into a suit of armor, and a stone on the ground turned into a shiny spear. If I hadn't left this world, I would have become their thug like you. The girl knows that everyone in this world has only two purposes, one is to cultivate capable individuals for the countries of this world, and the other is to pay taxes for the countries of this world. But everyone knows that from birth, the ability test can help parents who are capable lower their taxes and lead a better life. But no one knows about those 10-year-old capable individuals who are kept together in captivity every year, with the goal of survival. Only one person in each circle can survive, and those who survive can receive enhanced gene therapy. Only those who survive can move to the next level of circle. And those who died were turned into gene-enhancing drugs, while those with disabilities were put on mouse headsets and sewn together parts that other capable individuals could use as their thugs. And those so-called winners in the third round were selected to use as invasion tools in other worlds. The girl began to transform into lightning and run quickly among the monsters, where the lightning flashed and turned them into one corpse after another. Ha, ha, ha. The chicken that was knocked into the abandoned building by the girl in front of the mirror kept giggling because if it didn't, the girl would rush out of the mirror and tear it apart. Pa-da, pa-da. The sound of footsteps echoed sparsely in the abandoned building. I saw that point fly into here. A homeless man entered the abandoned building with a 3-liter bottle of water. If it weren't for not being able to attack you now, I would have dealt with you long ago, said a fat middle-aged man with a backpack and glasses on his back. It's a burden. Hee hee. A middle-aged woman's laughter echoed between the homeless man and the obese middle-aged man. Those bosses didn't even take action, so you're going to fight in the den. You are currently positioning the remaining boss. I need points, I need stronger strength. A muscular man who is 8 feet tall and wearing a vest hugged the woman directly in his arms. Once we solve the remaining boss, we will have an advantage, and we will not be afraid of that advanced player. The most feared thing is that the advanced player has solved the boss. The fat middle-aged man took out a thick wooden stick from his backpack. Anyway, the game has not started yet, and players cannot harm each other. Dong! A loud noise came from outside the abandoned building into the interior. Has the snatcher arrived? The muscular man quickly ran up the stairs of the abandoned building. Don't move there. Found it, Shuegu, the middle-aged woman pointed to the position on the 16th floor. It's over there. Now we are all competitors. The obese middle-aged man directly inserted the wooden stick into the sand pile next to the stairs. The sticks grew rapidly, and a towering tree rushed towards the abandoned roof. Don't try to get ahead. The homeless man scratched out the water in the bottle. And a ball of fire quickly flew to the towering tree, and the flames directly burned it down. The burnt tree quickly collapsed towards the stairs. Ah! The strong man put his hand in front of him in fear, and his whole body began to metallize.